Hey, so it's a foggy day out here. It's damp and it's cold. But I still love it. It's out in the forest here, out in the woods. I'm here with my trusty hound, George. What's up? George is a little bit spooked. He's looking at our car, and he doesn't know what it is. So anyway, pain. So moving through all our pain, things that are baggage. This is why we're here. This is George. This is why we're here. We're here to move through all of this stuff. All this stuff is by design, by the way. I firmly believe we put this shit in front of ourselves, but before we actually physically get here, I think, as they say, we do this, life review, and we go, oh, we need to fix this, we need to fix this, we need to fix this, we need to fix this. I'm going to come back into physical form. I'm going to go and pick my situations with my parents and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to come back down here and I'm going to start resolving these things because I need to get through them. That's a possibility. It really is. And if you look at it and everything that I've read and studied and things I've gone through, kind of points in that direction, oddly enough. It's not odd at all. It's quite amazing, actually, that we're not here by fluke and we're just not here to be like, some sort of bacteria that forms and gets fuzzy and then all of a sudden it eats itself and then it disappears. That's not why we're here. We're not here to make oodles of money. I mean, that is great to have abundance, but we're really here to ascend, to go up the ladder of consciousness until we become pure light, pure energy, pure, like godlike, to become our own God. We are our own God, actually. We just have to realize that. That's the thing. So our pain that we go through is designed. We design it. We put it here. And so if you look at it like that, it's just like, well, now it's a game. It's a game. So how do you get through this shit that happens to you? This stuff that some horrific event that happened to you as a child. And you have a choice. You can hang on to it. You can hang on to it like the Buddhists say and suffer. You can keep playing it over in your head over and over and over and make sure that, it's like a record. The groove in the record, the needle goes in the groove and it goes around and around. And the more it goes around, the deeper the groove gets until the groove is so deep you can't get out of it because that becomes your story. Your story, oh, look what happened to me 20 years ago. I got screwed over. My ex did this, my ex did that. And somehow, in a bizarre way, even though it's a horrible story, we get power through it when we tell that story because it vindicates us. It makes us, garner some sympathy, and we play our victimhood, and then we have somebody going rah, rah, rah behind us. Oh, you're right. You should get back at them. You were wronged. You were screwed over. And there's a little bit of enjoyment out of that or something. I mean, there's something in it. There's something of the familiarity of the story and your victimhood that somehow is like a dopamine hit. So we love to tell our story. We love to tell people how screwed over we are. We just sit on the couch and we keep going over it and over it and over it because there's a sense of familiarity, and familiarity makes us feel somehow connected. So there's the downside of holding on to your story. So here's an example. I was in Thailand for a 2-week meditation course that I was taking with a Buddhist monk. And I'm laughing because this guy was so cool. The first day he goes, so why are you here? And I'm like, well, I got to get through some shit. I got to burn this shit off that's following me around. I had some big difficulties that happened lately in my life, and I want to work myself through it. He goes, oh, perfect. So I start to tell him a bit of my story. He's patiently listening. Now, like a therapist, they've heard many, many people's stories. And, you know, it's not the story itself. It's just the fact that somebody is sitting in their story and they can't get out of it, that they are focusing on, right? So he's just going, okay, there's this guy, he's hanging on to his story. And so the next day, he goes to a how's your meditation? How are things going? I go, well, I think I'm making some progress there. Next day, a little bit more progress. Still talking about my story. And this goes on and on. I don't know how many days later it was. Halfway through or something, I said to him, I get it. I get it. He goes, you get what? And I said, I'm just going to drop my story. Just going to let it go. Why am I going over this and over this? I'm not learning anything from it. I'm not feeling any better for it. I'm just going to drop it. And then he had this big smile on his face. And he goes, now your work can begin. Meaning, now I can get busy on doing what's important, is building my internal fortitude, my strength, my going into finding out who I really am kind of thing. And that was it. And so I just dropped it. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Love Actually? You know, there's that part where that guy, I don't know who the character is, but he's got the hots for Natalie Portman and he's standing outside her door, knocks on the door, and he's got all these signs telling how deeply, devotedly in love he is to her. And at the end, he just drops everything because he knows he can't have her. So he just goes, that's it. It's over. It's done. She's done. I'm not thinking about it anymore. It's just gone. And that is basically the way that I do it. I sit with it. I sit with that problem, and then I just dump it. There's no need to hang on to it. There's no benefit to hang on to it. It's just this music that we want to keep playing over, this sad music that we want to play over and over, and we get caught into it. So it's almost like a habit. So it's forming new habits. It's like, what do you put in its place of that sad story? You know, some people, you know, when they quit smoking, they start exercising. As an example, start eating better. What do you put in its place? And I put meditation in place of difficult times. I sit down and I get quiet. And then that whole process is like letting the air out of the tires of whatever that pain is. So if there's something really bothering me, it's just like, psst, you know, letting all the air out, letting all the stress out of it. And I keep doing it until eventually there's no more pain. It's gone. Whatever the situation is. I just yesterday, this was cool. I went through my phone and I blew off 10,000 pictures. It's a history of my life of a relationship. Just blew them off. Done. It's over. You know, so I can't go foof, foof, foof with my hands. You know how you clean your hands? It's done. It's over. That's it. There's nothing more to say about it. Nothing more to do about it. Now it's moving forward. It's just moving forward all the time. It's like, where is the next rung on the ladder to go up? What is the next thing I need to work on? Because you got to keep burning off all this stuff. You got to burn off all these, issues, all this trauma, all this stuff. Because ultimately, when you get to the end, you can't be hanging on to anything anymore. This is what the whole journey of life is about. Is burning off all of your karma, burning off all of your resistance, all of the suffering that you've been going through. It's just that process. Because at the end, you don't want to be carrying anything. You know, when I was doing ayahuasca, I had this vision that I was walking towards this light and I was dropping all of my armor and weapons as I was walking towards it. And when I got to it, I was completely free, clean, wasn't wearing anything, butt naked, walking into the pure light where I had the most incredible experience. Can't describe it, but that is that is the 0 point. That is the point that we want to work towards in our life. So yeah, it's called letting go. Just letting go. Letting go of attachments and aversions. You know, we were clinging to things. We hang on to things, and that creates suffering because everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. Nothing ever lasts. Nothing in this physical world lasts. The only thing that lasts is you. And that's, you know, your eternal soul. And then we suffer with aversions because we're trying to stay away from difficult stuff. And if we don't go into it and we don't come out of it and we just let it sit there, then that's the bag of stuff you never cleaned up on this lifetime that you have to do in your next. Because that's the cycle that we go through. So we got to get busy. Make a list. Make a list of all those things you're having difficulty with. And then go through them. Burn them off. One by one. Let them go. Let them all go. Whatever somebody did to you, just let it go. Let it go. There's no sense in thinking, you know, there needs to be justice. Trust me, there is justice. There is justice in the end, always. So, that's it. That's my story. If this can help you or help anybody, please share, like, subscribe. I'm going to keep walking with George, my fearless hound, my guru. He's like the best dog ever. So anyway, love you. Take care. Bye.